The clock just ticked. There we go. We're live. Well, I just want to start off real quick by saying thank you guys for joining us this morning. Well, no, wait, it's morning for me because I just got up because I was working graveyards. But no, this is the afternoon already. It's 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in my part of the world. Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Jesse, for accepting the invitation on such short notice. Actually, it was the
Thank
quickest
you for
turnaround
having
I've
me.
had. It was the quickest turnaround I've had on a guest. Um, I know. I was trying to. I was trying to remember. I know. I've seen your you pop up in the chats in a couple of the live streams that I've been on. Um, but I wasn't sure if it was directly from YouTube that I recognized your name. I don't know if it was from Instagram or from TikTok. But in all of those platforms, you really haven't. You're kind of starting out, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, because I was kind of looking at those accounts and they're all relatively smaller. It seems like your YouTube is probably the one that has the most content on it, and so I was like, oh, okay, so I don't know how long. I guess it's obvious that you haven't been doing this recently. This is something that uh that you've been doing for a while. So if you don't mind just kind of giving us a little bit of just a little bit of background on who you are, where you're at, and what you're doing.
Um, well, my name's Jesse. I've been doing this. I've had a fish room per se only since I've been moved out of my parents' house. So I've only really had one since 2019 ish. I've
Okay.
had a fish room, but I had fish tanks at my parents'. But that is what made me get kicked out because one ended up it overflowed, and right below my bedroom was the food pantry. So all that water went down on the food in the food pantry, and it ended up with a big fight. So I ended up. It was not my doing. I didn't really get kicked out. I just left and never went back. So that's how that started. And then I ended up getting my first fish room, which was it was just a 10 by 11 room in uh, my girlfriend's aunt's basement, which was our next door neighbor actually. So it kind of worked out. But that held about 75 tanks, I think I had in there. And then I ended up growing out of that fish room, needing something bigger. So I ended up moving I'm located in Quakertown, Sellersville area in PA.
Okay.
I ended up moving about 45 minutes north, the whole fish room, the whole shebang, into a garage that was 20 by 50 roughly. So that made me be able to escalate things and produce and bring in more because I mainly breed, but for me it's hard to find exactly what I want to breed without having to import stuff
Okay.
or wholesale stuff in. So I'll end up wholesaling things in, sitting on it for months, making sure everything is good, and then I'll pick pretty much what I want out of that group for my breeding, and then I'll sell off the rest of it, and then I'll have my group to focus on breeding that species with. But
Now, is it that garage is that's your current location where you're at now, right?
no,
The fish room.
I moved all that now again to
Okay.
here. This is my
Okay.
third location, final location.
So you're still in PA though?
Yep, I'm back down in Sellersville again.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking on to your channel, and I noticed that a lot of the stuff right now has been like little shorts. Even though you've taken advantage of the longer shorts because there'll be times where you'll be talking and kind of explaining what's going on. Um, but did I think I saw in there? Did you have over 100 or 300 aquariums, or it was an
Right now,
outrageous.
I'm with the racks I have built now. I have the capacity of holding 215 tanks.
So obviously, this is not just a recreational thing. It sounds to me like you're trying to set yourself up for business.
Yeah, I have an LLC set up. I'm working on all that stuff, but yeah, mainly it's still kind of a a hobby and recreational because I still have a full time job on top of this.
Okay.
So that's why I like the YouTube and stuff just starting up because I really didn't have the time and I really didn't necessarily want to get on here because it's kind of nerve wracking for me, but had to bite the bullet eventually. So
Well, I think it's smart. I've always said that if you're gonna have a business and you have this platform, it would be crazy not to take advantage of the free, because I consider it like free advertisement. That's really what it is. It's a way to be able to put yourself out there and your product, and not have to pay for advertisement. And this is a good way to let potential people that would be interested in purchasing from you, one, to see how you're going about doing things. And that's the one thing, like I've really noticed in this hobby, is that people are willing to pay for good quality product.
mhm.
And you being able to use this platform to display that and kind of show people, hey, this is what I do, here's how I go about it. It just makes perfect sense, especially if that's kind of the direction that eventually you want to go. Because I know a lot of us will start just kind of sharing this and kind of sharing your experience of keeping it, but some people do have the ambition of making it an additional revenue source, not necessarily your sole source of revenue, but I guess we're all kind of under the same thing. Whereas, like, if I can get money enough to self-sustain the fish room, that's kind of like the minimum goal that most people usually have when they have a fish room. It's like, I get to keep the fish in it, and it generates its own funds to pay for it. But it seems like the way you're set up and the way you're going, you wanted to do a little bit more than just pay for itself.
Maybe eventually, but if it would just pay for itself in the long run, I'd be okay with that too. But I'm still in the build out stage, so it'll get done eventually. It's
So
never gonna
with
be
the hundred
done.
and some aquariums, I mean, is I can see that not everything is, because what I'm getting at is you have this massive pond that you build in that same facility.
Yep.
And one of the things that I noticed is that you're wanting to, I don't know, breed or keep or both, are sturgeons.
Yeah. I have. I like to. I mainly just keeping them, but if they
Okay.
end up breeding in the long run,
So
that'll be
how
cool.
many do you have right now currently?
I only have two right now.
Okay. And they're relatively small, right? I mean, for
The
the
biggest
size that
one's
they
about
eventually.
16 inches.
Okay. But they can grow
But
up to what, about 24 inches?
the albino sterlet will get maybe 3, 4 feet. The
Oh, okay.
diamondback can get pretty big.
Okay.
The
And how
diamondback
many
can
get
get. Go ahead.
how big is that pond that you build? How many
Right
gallons?
now, the one inside that I built, 2,500 gallons.
Okay. So it sounds like you got plans for something bigger than that?
I already have one bigger up next to the house, the koi pond I've built.
Okay.
That one's about 16,000 gallons.
Wow.
And then I have another one dug out back here, and I'm going to dig another one, and then they're both going to get lined.
How big are those going to be?
That one, I haven't really figured out the gallons yet because I haven't lined it, so I still have to do the final dig out. But it's roughly 7 feet deep, 12 feet wide, 14 feet long.
What do you plan to keep
They're
on
pretty,
that?
that one got some big plans. I plan on putting a greenhouse over top of it and stuff like
Okay.
that. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna try to make it to where I can keep it warm enough to keep my gar out there.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But
so
I
you
don't know.
already have,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was going to say, you currently have a gar, or are you planning to getting a gar?
Yeah. I have two. They're at my buddy's house right now because when I moved from Allentown down to here, I gave him my 900-gallon pond. So I put the fish in that for now until I get everything set up here, and then they'll be here.
So the stuff that you're currently keeping in your fish room, are you kind of like keeping only certain types of species, or you've got a whole range of different
I
kinds
have a
of
whole
fish. Or,
I have a whole range of everything.
so you got everything from nanos to these big monster fish that you're keeping. Do you have a
Yep.
preference for them, or just kind of like I want them all? It's like Pokemon.
They're kind of like Pokemon. You kind of want them all. I mean, obviously, what started me off was the gar. I
Hmm.
got my first gar 8 years ago.
Okay.
My Florida gar. I still have him. He's in the 900 gallon. That's what started me off in the hobby, and then I was like, I fell in love with them. And then when you're contained to your parents' house, you can only get so many monsters. So the nano stuff kind of took over a little bit then, but once I moved into my own places, I've had everything from little tetras to my red-tailed cat that's pushing 3 foot right now.
Is it an albino? I thought I saw a
I
video.
have two. I have two regular red tails, and I have a phantom red tail.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. It was phantom. I remember seeing that because I looked at it. I was going, "Is that a red tail catfish?" Because I'm it was in the colors that you're used to seeing, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, "Man, he's running the gamut of everything." Because I see the smaller aquariums that I recognize because I kind of have the same setup, but you've definitely kind of ran with it. And
Yeah.
so, is there any, I guess, particular species that you enjoy the most, or is it? I mean, do you have a preference for what you eventually want to do?
Well, lately I've been getting into the dwarf cichlids a little bit more, and I want to
Okay.
get. I used to have before I moved. I had a colony of. I have a couple colonies of the pygmy sunfish, so I want to get them again and just get some of the wild type stuff back in here as well.
Okay. Now with the monster fish, is that something that they'll just be like your personal fish, or is it something that eventually you might grow out and sell? What's the plan with the bigger fish?
Theoretically, all my fish are for sale for the right price,
Okay. Okay.
but with the bigger stuff, I would almost prefer to have proof that you can have an adequate space for it
Mm,
before I let it go to you. And I'm not gonna sell it to you for an arm and a leg either because half my monster fish are rescues.
okay.
So I'm not out there to make an arm and a leg off these monsters when I got them for nothing. So as long as you can provide that you have an adequate home for them for their entire life, I pretty much give it to you for bottom dollar.
Mm.
But
Now, I was
some
going
of
to ask you.
them you're gonna have to bargain me with. Some of them aren't. They're my pets, so you're gonna have to.
There's more of an attachment to them.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah.
Uh, Now, is it actually? Because I'm not a big monster fish keeper. I'm kind of more on the other end, on the other spectrum. Kind of everything that's probably, I think the biggest fish would be like 5 inches or smaller. It's kind of like the area that I'm kind of comfortable with. But is there a big market for these big monster fish and stuff like that? Or
When they're this big,
oh, okay,
when they're that big, everybody wants them. But once they get about a foot to 16 inches, people want to get rid of them.
yeah. Yeah, and that seems to be a reoccurring issue with it's the one that always comes to mind is like the red tail catfish. I always hear people wanting them, but I'm
Hmm.
just thinking is like, where are you going to keep it? There is no aquarium big enough for that. You really have to build a pond to adequately keep them. I mean, I don't think
That's why I
what
built
is it?
that one because theoretically, I have two red tails here. He has three at his house in the 900. So theoretically, I have five that I have to think about long term housing for unless somebody wants them.
Mm,
So I have that pond, and if I have to build another one, I'll build another one.
wow. Now, I what I thought was really interesting is in one of your shorts you actually had to bring in a water truck to fill up some of your ponds. Is the water something that's an issue where you're currently located at, or
Uh, this year we had a bad drought.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the houses within a mile of us, their wells went dry. We have two wells on this property. Neither one of them went dry, and I wasn't letting them go dry. So I just
Oh,
ordered water in because the $350 for the 5,500 gallons is more worth it to me than have my well go dry.
hmm.
So I'll just truck it in, let it sit for a couple days, and then use it.
Yeah. Uh, Fathom Aquatics is asking if you have any bichers, and if you do, how
I
many?
have three.
Okay. What kind
My
are they?
biggest, I have a ornate, which is my biggest one. It's about 18 inches, and then I don't quite remember the other two. They came in as rescues. People dropped them off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there there's a comment says getting into the hobby with a car is wild. Now, the fish keeping, you said it started out at your parents, but how old were you when you first started keeping fish?
15,
Okay. So you've got at least what,
roughly
like 10
15,
years
but
under your belt?
roughly yeah. But I grew up outside. Like my whole childhood, I was outside. Up in I went to Canada almost every year for vacation because we had cabins up there at the time, and I would make like a little tank in the lake, and I
Hmm.
would catch fish and put them in there, and they'd be trapped in there for the weekend. And I did that growing up, and then eventually I was like, I want to get a tank, and eventually I got one, and here I am.
Now, I know that you said you've gotten some rescues, but is that something that you really want to get involved with, or you're done rescuing what, because these monster fishes take a lot of real estate. That's why I'm kind of wondering,
All
because the
depends on
people
what
here
comes.
that
Like, I'm not gonna turn anything down
okay,
because I care more about the animal than anything. So if I can adequately provide it a home, it's gonna come here. And if I can't, I'll still probably will come here temporarily, and I'll find it an adequate home fast. Because
okay,
I've had people when I was in Allentown. It's more of a major city in PA here, and I've had people drop off alligators. So
what are you doing with alligators?
I have people that'll take them.
Oh, okay. So do you actually have a source to be able to provide these fish a home for, or that's what I'm kind of curious because I don't know too many people that would be willing to build a big pond to house a lot of these fish.
No, not that many people will, but I love the fish, and then I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep them because I want to keep them. I'm not gonna just jam them in a small tank because I can. I'm gonna try to build them the best thing I can possibly can, and that's a 10 by 12 by 4 foot deep pond over there. So
Mm. Now, when it comes to, I think of monster fishing is kind of like having a child because they get so expensive real quick. Now, what are you doing to be able to feed all these guys? I
I
mean,
have a
because
full time job.
I know, but it's going to get to a point where that might not even be enough, especially once they get bigger and bigger. Um, is that what the idea of having the other fish is to be able to generate an income to be able to feed these guys or
A couple people in Jeff's chat the one day actually brought up my plan
yeah,
is to breed tilapia.
okay,
That way it'll just
okay,
keep on.
that'll be part of
Because that's
the
what they mainly eat is
supplemental feeding.
tilapia. So
Well, it's they breed them for commercial purposes too, so you know
yeah, they
instead of
also
having to
use them
buy them
on
frozen.
aquaponics systems.
Mm,
So I might incorporate a little something in there too. So
yep, grow some vegetables and you can turn around and sell it at a farmer's market or something just to kind of
or
generate
feed
some
them to
other.
my other animals. There's a rabbit in here. There's tortoises in here.
So you're obviously keeping other okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm on a farm, so we have other animals.
but those are not rescues, right? Those are just stuff that you guys are keeping for whatever purpose.
The other animals,
Yeah.
yeah, they're all rescues as well, but they're ours. They're our pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So are you well you got those guys, but how many of the fish that you have currently would you consider are in that monster fish category?
Um, I'd
Or
probably say anything over 8 inches. So I
or
have
you
quite a few.
yeah, I was gonna say if you're considering see that's the whole question I've always had. And
Because
I
it
guess that's kind of a debate that always takes
all
place. What's
depends on
considered
what
a
you
monster?
consider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some people wouldn't consider a green terror a monster fish, but when it can kill everything in your tank, and
But that's
it's
just more aggression. Those are aggressive.
yeah,
I
but if
always
you get up to
considered
like this one's like 10, pushing 11 inches, so it's like that's getting to the size where it'll dominate your tank, and
yeah.
doesn't matter what you're gonna put in there. I can't even put a pleco in with this one; he'll chase it out of the tank or kill it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess attitude does really play a big part into that. But you it's always interesting. Now, I guess once you start getting like Oscar size and above is what most people start considering. I guess monster fish. I don't know. I've it's been one of those things where I enjoy them in other people's tanks. I don't mind watching them and stuff, but I don't. It doesn't appeal to me to keep them just because it's just too big. I mean, it's just I like community tanks, and I like having multiple species in an aquarium. And once you start getting into those big boys, it's not that you can't do a community aquarium because of aggression, but because they'll probably eat them because they're so much bigger than everything else. That's the
yeah.
problem.
And
And unless you,
there's even aggression with these catfish. These catfish are territorial too, so you have to be careful what you put in with where. So
oh, okay, you don't have what's it? Is it that catfish that will eat everything that's even bigger than itself? A
a
gooper.
gulper cat.
Yeah.
No, but I have some requests of bringing some in because I know somebody that wants one. So
So are you actually buying fish to bring into your fish room?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, you said you
I,
that's right. You set up yourself with an LLC, so
if someone comes to me and be like, hey, can you get this, and I can get it, I'm gonna get it. And then plus, like I said, I bring in the groups of things for myself to get my breeding colony out of, and then I'll sell off the rest.
yeah. Now,
I also bring in from other hobbyists that don't want to deal with other people, that they have too much fish that they can't handle that they produce, that they'll sell it to me, and then I'll have it to either resell or do whatever with.
so are you currently set up to sell right now? I mean, have you been selling fish right now, or is it still in the setup process?
And yeah, we're set up too. We have a
Okay.
website and everything.
Oh, okay. And you is it up to date the what you posting on there, or you're only posting stuff that is actually ready to go?
There's only a handful of things on there that are actually ready to go, but if you reach out to me, if
Oh, okay.
you get a more updated list of what I'll actually have and can get to you.
Oh, look, it looks like you got up to 50 subs.
Woohoo!
Well, I'm sure that's just the beginning. It's. I think you're set up to captivate a big market because you're not stuck in a niche. It's not like you're only doing nanofish or only doing monster fish. You're doing everything. It's by the sounds of it, there. If you name it, you've got it pretty much.
There's snakes in here. There's a skink in here. A little bit of everything.
Now, is reptiles going to be something that you're also going to want to uh, have multiples of, or is it just kind of because somebody's kind of offered them up to you? And
No, I'll probably have multiples of because I ended up with two ball pythons because we went to a reptile expo and my other half fell in love with them, and now we have them. Years later, we have them still. So
yeah, but that's more like a pet, or is it something that you would be interested in, and also selling reptiles? I guess that would be the better question.
I guess it all depends on like if that's how like things flow into it,
Mm.
it'll have me. I'm not against it. It's not necessarily in the sight right now because obviously I haven't even got this figured out yet. Still, but it's not something I'm against. But it's not anything that's in like the next year plan or anything.
Oh, okay. Now, with that many tanks, I'm assuming you're setting up some sort of water change system, or are you manually doing all these water changes on all these
I manually do all
aquariums?
of them.
You manually do all of them.
Yeah.
Is it individual tanks, or you have them set up like where you can do a whole row by turning a valve, or
Right now they're all manual. No plumbing whatsoever. It's
okay,
pumped out, pumped in, or bucketed out because I have a door that goes right outside to my pasture, so it just goes right out
oh
there.
okay,
And then and I'm gonna get the note because I'm not gonna drill any of my tanks, so you can
hmm
make them siphons. I'm
yeah,
gonna end up having those on my tank, so I can just turn the valves, and I'll have a pump where I can just pump the water in. It'll all have an auto water change, but not being.
a
It's all
manual
just
auto
gonna be
water change
separate.
is what
Yeah,
the semi-auto is what I call it because
yeah.
it's
It'll
kind of
eventually get to that, but right now
yeah.
it's just all manual.
Mm. How long does it? Or obviously, with that many aquariums, you're kind of sectioning it off by areas and hitting them, every other day, or are you spending your all your time doing water changes, or how are you managing that?
Um, I do a couple every day.
Mm.
Get home from work, do a couple, then tinker around in the fish room for the rest of the night, doing whatever, finishing racks, redoing tanks, pretty much anything.
Mm.
Because then I'll be
Now,
down here because my lights don't turn on in here till 2 o'clock, and
okay.
then they don't shut off till midnight.
Now you said your significant other, is she also involved with this side of it, or is it something you're totally doing on your own? Because it seems like pretty soon you're going to need some help.
Most of it's by myself, honestly. She does the betas. She likes the betas. So we have, I think, we're up to like 40 betas over there that she's
Mhm.
working with and breeding. So
And that's
that's
obviously
her
something
thing.
that you guys are also going to try to sell.
Yeah.
Is yeah, because I mean, I I did one attempt at breeding bettas, and man, you get a lot of fish from one clutch of eggs or whatever it is you call them, but from one bubble nest, you can get a lot
Probably
of
be the
a lot.
cheapest betas you'll see too.
What's that?
Probably be the cheapest betas you'll find too.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have, I think, 6 or 7 clutches, batches up there that are hatching out, and we'll have a lot. And I'm not trying to get overrun by betas.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of these fish. Eventually, if you don't have an out plan, that could easily happen. Where it's kind of like, okay, now what am I going to put these in? even
Yeah.
even with a lot of aquariums, you can quickly outpace yourself if you can't offload them.
Yeah.
Do you Are you selling anything to wholesalers or anything like that to try to
I
help
have
you
that
make?
option. That's why I'm not too worried about being overrun by anything, because I can just get
Okay.
rid of it. But
Oh, okay.
I don't sell to them if I don't have to.
Okay. That's
It-
not your first choice.
yeah, no, that's my last choice because most of the time wholesalers don't have the healthiest of systems. So I don't know what the chances of my fish getting sick going there would be. So I'd rather sell them to people that actually want them and care to house them properly.
Yeah. Now, how are you going about? Well, it's probably not as critical with the smaller fish, but with the bigger fish, what are some of the things that you're doing to ensure that these fish are going to be going to somebody that's going to adequately be able to maintain them?
For the most part, like the bigger stuff, I'm not going to ship them. I'm going to
Okay.
deliver them. So
Okay.
if I don't see it when I show up, I'm just going to turn around and go home.
Mm,
You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna stick it in this 20 gallon and then I'll get it set up at like tomorrow. That's not how that's gonna work. If I show up and you don't have it set up, it's not gonna work out then.
okay. Well, I guess there could be other ways that you could go about it, so you're not having to drive all the way out there. And I mean,
Yeah, you can get
yeah,
pictures and
because
stuff too,
yeah,
but try to get as much evidence as possible to where it's worth going out. But
pro- probably having them explain to you a little bit of what the care requirements are for these fish, just so that you go, okay, yeah, this person is out at the bare minimum done their research. They're not just because it seems to be the one thing that I see happening, especially with monster fish. It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like an impulse. You go, oh, it looks so cool, I want it, and without really understanding the commitment to these things, they just go out and buy them, and that's why you end up with a lot of rescues. It's just people that
yeah,
get a little bit ahead
uh,
of themselves.
at the same time too, I have to put like a price to the fish. So the
Hmm.
bigger fish that like only really a collector or somebody that wants that fish would pay that price.
Oh,
So
okay.
I kind of have to put that price on the fish. So I'm still not gonna be charging anywhere near what could be charged for that fish. But
Yeah, enough to deter beginners, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, I got it. That would make sense because yeah, if because it would be crazy that you're turning around and giving it to somebody so that they can only call you back in a year and say, "Hey, I can't keep this anymore."
yeah, I've had it happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Well, things happen too, but at least it's not because they weren't aware of what they were getting into. When it comes to size and stuff like that. Um, it's because you hear it so often where people will be like, yeah, I'll get it right now, put it like you said, put it in a 20 gallon, and in a couple of months I'm going to get it the right aquarium for it, and things happen, and next thing you know, they can't they didn't follow up on what they said they were going to do, and now they're stuck with the fish that either they're going to keep it in an adequate location, or um they're gonna have to find a home for it. So, but I guess for the people that are just showing up, you're located in Pennsylvania, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, are you? It's you can tell I'm from the West Coast. I have no geographical idea of what Pennsylvania. How close are you? To me, the only thing I can relate Pennsylvania, well, other than Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, is the Clash. Are you kind of close to Morgantown, or?
yeah. I'm an hour and a half away from the Clash, and I'm about an hour and 20 minutes north of Philly.
Oh, okay. So are you? Is the Clash something that have you attended or plan to attend
Yeah,
or?
since 2019, I've been a vendor there.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
probably know a lot of these people that you kind of mingle with in the chats. You probably come across them at
Some
the
of them,
events,
yeah.
and
Some of them I've come across. I've recognized their name. I can't. I don't know if they recognize me from being a vendor there or not because my logo and everything's changed since then.
okay.
So
Well, they'll probably recognize you after this. They'll be, this is the guy. Now, say that because I know some of the guys that are here would be like, dude, we need to go check out Jesse's facility. Is that something you would be open to if you had a group of guys that were at the
eventually, yeah,
Clash and go, hey, Jesse, you want to go check out your facility? You'd be open
yeah,
to having people come over
yeah. I need to
because
have it
that's going to
done
happen.
first. Oh yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna have 300 aquariums in their barn and not have people want to come over to see it. So plus we have the horses and everything else here.
Oh, okay. Wow, you got horses too. So
Yeah,
you're going to create your own little zoo out there.
probably.
So the gators, are you still hanging on to those gators, or did you actually find them
Nah,
homes?
I don't hold on to them very long.
Okay.
I'm
Is there
trying to.
people out there that actually want them?
Yeah, they're at almost every reptile show out
Are
here.
they? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not a
don't
big
need
reptile.
permit to own them out here.
Wow. Yeah, that would be interesting if now can because they are a reptile. They don't do very well in the waterways in the winter up there in in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they they would freeze,
that's
right?
why
Or
I had. That's why I was getting so many dumped off to me in Allentown because people were dumping them off in their creek in the creeks up there, and 3 or 4 were found last year.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Also, they do survive the winters out there.
No, they won't survive the winter, but
Well,
they're finding them in the summertime. People are dumping them.
that's crazy. Why would you want to? Why would you want to do that in your waterways? You know, you don't want them to adapt to cold weather because then that'll be a whole other problem.
Yeah.
But so 300 aquariums is nuts. Um,
That's the goal. So we'll see if I get there.
so right now where you're currently set up, is that an outbuilding that you already had on the property, or is it something you created? I mean, constructed, or
It used to be chicken stalls. I
oh,
converted
okay,
it into a room it's in our barn. I converted it's a 20 by 50 room. That used to be all chicken stalls. So I had to clean it
okay,
all out and frame out the walls, do the insulation, plywood, everything.
okay. So it's a full enclosure now. Where now
Yeah.
obviously you're regulating the area, not heating tanks and
Yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
installed a mini split.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Well, I'll ask, are you set up in a way where you can kind of show us a little bit of what you're working there with? You'd be able to be mobile, or
Yeah.
now if people were to see stuff right now that when you're going around showing us and they would be interested in buying from you, is it something that all they got to do is reach out to you and you guys can work it out, or is
Yeah.
it okay? Because
Uh,
I know once you start going around showing us what you got, you're going to get some very interested people.
let's start here.
So that's a 300-gallon above ground
This,
pond.
this is roughly a 470.
Oh, okay, it's the bigger one.
Yeah, that's the 300 with the sturgeon in it. But yeah, I have my red tail there. I have a tiger shovel nose in there. There's also a wallago cat hiding in that tube. His little tail sticking out right there.
Okay.
But he hides in there. He doesn't really come out. But yeah, that's the newest rack I just built.
Yeah, I always hear people in the comments and other live streams. Yeah, Jesse's building another rack.
Yeah, that's the one I was building while I was chatting in Jeff's chat, but I've recently gotten it filled up the tank. So, um, and I know I'll have these available. Latoya wants
What,
some of these.
the bloodfin tetras?
Yeah,
Yeah, those are nice. Did you breed those, or you is that stuff you're buying and importing?
this is the stock I brought in to get my group out of it.
Oh, okay.
So once I get my group out of it, I'll sell off the rest to. I know Latoya wants some Land O'Lake Aquatics,
Yeah,
and then
ropefish
yep,
and a blue polar. Wow, you got more than one ropefish.
yeah. There's 5 or 6 in there. Focus. But then, uh, Axolotl.
No, okay. Okay, that's the what cichlid is that? Is it the yellow cichlid or
Yeah, the
yeah,
yellow convict.
yeah, the yellow convict? They have the blue eyes, right?
Yep. There's made a nice short on them,
Oh, okay. Have they bred
and
for you yet?
yeah, I have a whole that I moved them into this tank because I had them in a 30 low boy, and they had a clutch of eggs, so I'm letting the babies grow up in that tank.
Those are Miller eyes.
These are the Montezuma swordtails.
Oh, okay. Somebody was
Mm,
looking for those double ear guppies.
I feel the focus. Maybe it won't. Yeah, there was just a guppy that I crossed a half blood rose female to a golden crown tail, and that's ended up what popped out. So I've gotten the males and the females separated, and they all pretty much look the same. So I'm trying to line breed them out to see if I can.
Kind of create your own line.
Yeah, I'm just playing with it, see what happens. Got gold madakas.
No, okay. I was gonna say they look like rice fish. Rice fish.
Yeah, those are babies I'm growing out from the ones I have.
Oh, okay.
The majority of everything's on this rack.
Swordtails.
Marigold, lyre tail, sword tails.
Yeah, those are nice. See, that's my speed right there. Everything that you've been showing so far. Harlequin Rasboras. So, what's the difference between the Harlequin and the pork chop? I think it's the other one.
I don't know. I'd have to have them almost side by side to be able to.
Yeah, I haven't been able to tell them apart, but usually I go with Harlequin because they're the most common.
Got some pygmy quarries.
Okay. Have you bred those yet?
Not yet.
Platties?
Some red. Yeah, red corals.
Oh, those are nice. Love the color on them. Lamp eyes or red eyes, I mean.
Red eyes, yeah.
Have you had any success breeding those?
Not yet. A lot of this stuff is just me. Is just brought in because I'm trying to
Okay.
get everything started back up.
Bamboo shrimp?
Vampire shrimp.
Vampire.
I guess I'll just say this one.
Yeah, that one I can't tell what it is. Oh, there it is. He's
It's a,
fanning.
yeah. It won't focus. But and I got some keyhole cichlids in here too.
Oh, cool. Those are not too common.
Got three of them to grow out. And hopefully get a group pair out of them.
Nice. Buenos Aires. No, those are not Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, yeah.
Oh, they got. Hadn't noticed those vertical stripes by the gills. Yeah, those guys, they're cool, but they'll eat all your plants.
Yeah.
That's the only
They ate all
problem with
your
those
algae
suckers.
too.
Now, is selling plants something that you also have in the works, or are you just keeping them to try to breed? You know, the hornwort and the guppy grass.
Most of the
Uh,
plants right now are just for breeding, but
okay,
in the long run, I'll end up having more than I need. So eventually, it'll be for sale.
okay.
These are head and tail light tetras.
Oh, nice.
Uh, they're all hiding back there, but I got tricolor Madakas.
So how many species of rice fish do you have?
Two.
Oh, okay, just those two.
Just those two.
S- The Sanka swordtails, Sanke.
It's a koi, and then that's a Montezuma female.
Yeah, you're gonna try to crossbreed them.
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
Okay,
I want to see if
don't let the
it's going
purists
to be
know
a
because
cool
they're gonna.
combination or not. So if
Well,
it's
that's the only
not,
way. That's the only way you're gonna discover a new morph or line, I guess. I know a lot of the purists would be like having a conniption because you're you're taking a wild type and crossing it with an ornate.
yeah, but I'm also producing so many of that wild type that
Yeah,
I can risk taking one female out.
yeah. I think eventually that's what I want to do with my wild type um mollies that I have is eventually I'm gonna try to see what I can do with them because they're reproducing fine right now. What do
These
you got in
are
there?
my Cuban limia babies,
Oh, okay.
and my group of them are up here. There's even a cat in here. See?
It doesn't go swimming in your tanks.
No, it sleeps all day. That's all it does.
Uh, Good heads,
These are
or those are
the
the parrots. Those,
the
yeah,
Cuban limias.
yeah. Are those are those what do they call them? Like tank? Well, do you have where the location for those or?
I don't have the location for these. But if I found a pair that had a location, these would go bye bye probably, or they'd go in probably community tank. But I'd
Oh,
have a location only. Right now, there's just an aquarium stream.
yeah. But they're still cool. I mean, I don't have a
Yeah.
for somebody like me that would just like to have them. I don't have a problem with just having an aquarium string, but I know there's other people that actually do want to do the conservation. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I mean, if I ended up finding some that had a name, I'd probably still keep these as an aquarium strain tank, species only, because this is species only tank. There's only these four in here.
Yeah.
I'm getting hopefully getting more females soon for these, and then this tank is just there's one Cory,
Oh, okay.
and then there's 7 dwarf bullfrogs, and then 2 short body rainbows somebody gave me. I don't know what to do with them, so they ended up in there.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a home for them.
They're kind of cool looking, to be honest with you, but I don't like the whole short body thing.
Oh, those are like balloon rainbows.
Yeah,
Oh, wow! I didn't know they were doing that with rainbows.
yep. So, not a big fan of them, but they are pretty. It's just
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the balloon, the balloon trend on fish. I'm not a big fan of them, but you do have goldfish. We're basically balloon fish. What are those guys? I don't think I recognize that species.
it's a species of hill trout. I'm not
Oh,
exactly sure which one it is yet. I can't identify it yet,
are those wild
but
caught or?
um, I'm not too sure. I got them from one of the suppliers I have.
Oh,
He
okay.
had 4 of them there, and I thought they looked cool, so I brought them in, and I'm just trying to figure out which ones exactly they are. Because I've been looking for hill trouts, and they're about the only way I found them besides shipping them in.
Now, how big do those get? About 10 inches, 12 inches?
I don't think he's gonna get much bigger than that, being five,
Oh,
six
okay.
inches. I've had these for quite a while already.
So these are actually an aquarium strain. Uh, I thought hill trouts
I'm
were.
not sure honestly.
Oh, okay.
To me, if I were to breed them and sell them, that's what they would be sold as. But
Okay. Koi angels.
yeah, my buddy makes breeds angels a lot. He makes his own lines of them. That's just his line of his kois.
They look good. I like them.
Yeah, he calls them his orange ghost marbles because he specifically focuses on genetics of the angels and line breeds certain genetics out of them.
Yeah. So it's a marble and a golden that got crossed. That's exactly what I have.
Yeah, I love them. The only angels I
Yeah.
have are from him. Same with these ones. These are the wild type. Seo Gabriel
Hmm.
that he's produced. So I got a group of 6 of them too because I love the wild type look on them.
So what species have you been able to breed so far?
Uh, Mainly it's since I've built and moved here, the yellow convicts have
Okay.
spawned, and I got a lot of the Montezuma swordtails. And she's been breeding a lot of betas. I've mainly been focusing on building everything because I'm one person, so
Yeah.
gotta get stuff done. But yeah,
Now the angels that you were showing earlier, the ones your friends breeding out, the goldens with marbles,
yeah.
are those inventory that you're gonna sell, or you're trying to hang on to them to breed them to get
Nah,
a
these
breeding
ones are
pair off
mine.
of them?
If you're looking for them, I'll point you in the direction to go get them. Though
Okay. Yeah, because I know
he
I've noticed the
he
comments of
also
some people.
yeah he ships too. So
Okay.
if you're looking for like specialty angels, I would say just reach out and I'll point you in the direction of him.
Okay. I like how those have red eyes.
Only a couple of them have red eye.
Yeah.
Like this one's got partial red eyes, but other ones they're all clear eyed. There's only that one that has the red eye.
No.
Yeah. He's and I asked him about it. He's like, it's a genetic thing that he was trying to figure out as well within that that strain of him. But here's that ornate glacier.
Chilling out in his little barrel.
Yeah. His face is right here, so he's as long as that whole thing.
Yeah, I can tell.
And of course, I
It's an
got my
Oscar.
Oscars. Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's another one back there. So that's another short body. That's a short body Oscar I've had for a while.
Oh, he's Fathom Aquatic says that's a she that you got in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he if you want to know anything you want to know about Bishers, reach out to Fathom Aquatics. He's a Bisher nerd.
Yeah, I'd like to breed them. I know doesn't he I think I've heard that he bred them or something.
He had a couple that got hybridized, so he's got the one and only hybridized fry that he's got surviving and growing out. So, but besides that, he's somebody that he he tries to talk to me about Bishers, but I'm not a big Bisher enthusiast. Other than when I see him, I go, yeah, that looks like a dinosaur fish. But I know that people reach out to him all the time for information because he really does know a lot. And you know, I'm not just saying that because he's my friend, but I've I know he really he tries to geek out with me, and I'm a horrible friend because I go cool. That's all he gets out of me. Was that a turtle? What kind of turtle is that?
A snapping turtle.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to put your finger in there.
No, I found this one in a window well on a job.
Oh, okay.
He was about a mile and a half from any body of water. So I
Oh,
brought him
wow.
home, and he's gotten such a personality to him that he can't go anywhere.
He's
So
part of the collection now.
yeah, I have two common snappers and I have an alligator snapper.
Wow, those guys are nasty.
Actually, the alligator snapper hides more than he does anything. This one will chase me around the tank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he just wants to be fed all the time. That's why.
Well, the alligator is more of a predatory, right? It was just, I mean, a stalker. He was just not stalker, but ambush predator. They just
He's
sit there
like,
with the mouth open, waiting for something to swim by. What do we got in there? Oh, the other turtle.
that's the alligator snapper.
Yeah, those guys get huge too.
Yeah, they both get big.
That's a green
That's the
tear.
green terror that'll kill anything I put in this tank. It's an
He's big,
absolute
all right.
terror. But yeah, he's a centerpiece fish now. So
No, okay.
trying to find a decent sized female, but see how that goes. And then this tank is just it's just plants and there's a bunch of baby plecos in here.
Albinos or snow whites?
There's snow whites, regulars, and lemon blue eyes. All three
Oh,
are
okay.
mixed up in here. It's just a baby grow out.
Now, are those tank bred there by you, or are those just stuff you brought in for sale?
These are not bred by me, but they're a hobbyist bred.
Oh, okay. Locally from the area.
Yeah. But yeah, then this is the sturgeon pond.
You know, on camera when you record him, he looks like he's a lot smaller,
Yeah, no,
but
he's pretty big.
yeah.
He's, he's getting his own pond come well as soon as I can dig.
Now those guys they tolerate the cold temperature, right? They can be
Ye-
outdoors without any fuss or
Yep.
fuss.
Yeah, they can. A lot of people put them with their koi fish because they can tolerate the cold. So they're gonna be getting um, a pond dug for them out back as soon as the weather starts warming up and I can actually dig.
Now, do you currently have koi, or is that something you're going to get? Because I know you mentioned something about a koi pond.
Yeah, we have the koi pond up at the house.
Oh,
She's
okay.
got she does the koi. I know people love these guys on Jeff's stream.
Well, it's one of those fish that is like I said, they're very interesting to look at, but there's no way I could keep something like that because of just the space that it requires.
I mean, yeah, I had to build. My rack's not complete because the pond's underneath it, so it still gets another shelf on the ground here.
Oh, okay.
Can't put it up there because I have to finish the. This is the filtration for the big pond, so I have to finish that. Which I just have to get another pump because the pump I have for that was originally for the koi pond, but it pumps way too much water.
Now your fish room, you're running it all on a central air pump, or
Yeah, so
yeah,
runs all
yeah,
along the edge of
yeah. Because
the
I thought I
building
saw a
and
short. I thought I saw a short where you were actually putting it together.
yeah, but yeah, that's really all I have kind of for sale right now, but
So I'm assuming you probably want to have like a balance of stuff that you're in-house breeding. I mean, because once the sales start going out, it's going to be hard to keep up with um just breeding, supplying out of what you breed, unless you dedicate several tanks to doing that. But what's your plan as far as that? Is it just bringing in some species, or are you going to just try to be self-reliant and breed in-house, and what you have is what you sell, and that's it?
I'm gonna breed whatever I can in house.
Okay.
And then obviously there's gonna be things that I can't breed right off the bat. I'm gonna be bringing stuff in, but obviously if I bring it in, I'm gonna be sitting on it for months. Nobody's gonna even know I have it till it's almost ready to go.
Okay.
So, but yeah, most of it's gonna be bred in house. Besides like the real oddball stuff that it's kind of hard to get in captivity, like vampire shrimp and stuff like that.
Yeah. Whip says no arowanas. That's a little disappointing.
My brother has an albino arowana, so I'll end up with that eventually.
Yeah, I was watching a video from the koi pit. I guess he knows this guy that it's called I want to say a exotic something. I forget what the name. But anyways, this guy built out a greenhouse. When you said greenhouse, I was thinking of his immediately. But he kind of did a pond where he's got some peacock bass and some marijuanas. But what I thought was really cool about the setup is that he's did the greenhouse, but it's kind of like a living little jungle. The guy's got little waterways. He's built up some platforms where you can walk up to the pond, but he's growing out all these plants. And in the enclosure of the greenhouse, he's got snakes, he's got frogs, lizards, all living within a little ecosystem. And I was like, man, that is awesome. But what I was thinking about the arowana is it's kind of cool because he's got the pond, but because they jump, he's kind of built a like an enclosure around it so
Yeah.
that they don't jump out of the pond. And I was like, man, this guy's really thought about it.
Yeah, my buddy, he had one, and then it ended up jumping out of his tank, so he lost that. I had a couple. Um, well, I was supposed to have a couple, but when I got that 900-gallon pond originally, I got it out of a guy. He had it in his living room. He got a dog, so he had to get rid of the pond. So the pond,
Hmm.
fish, everything went. So he had some 2.5 foot arowanas that he just everything moved dead of winter. So everything got moved, but the arowanas obviously didn't make that move.
Uh, they're asking you a question about the green tear. I don't know if you can see it there on the screen.
It's the Brivulatus.
Okay. Yeah, and the channel I was talking about is called a life exotic, and yeah, I thought it was interesting because I've always wondered, hey, would it be possible to set up a thing where it's like a living bio ecosystem where everything is interacting, and to see somebody actually pull it off, I thought that was kind of neat because he's kind of merging the three hobbies that I've always said that I kind of see kind of coming together, which is the aquatic side, the plant side, and the reptile side. And this guy's managed to do it all in one enclosure. So I thought that was very interesting. Um, but but yeah, well, it's kind of cool. So your plans are obviously not because you said you have a full-time employment. Obviously, right now this is kind of like a project that you're working on. But is it something that you eventually want to be able to do full time if it's able to sustain you, or
Yeah, if I
is it
get
going
to
to?
sustain me and my family, I'll do it full time. But until then,
Okay,
it's gonna be part time.
yeah, and that's probably the smartest way to go about it because it takes a while. If all businesses, you got to give them at least 5 years before they start becoming profitable. Um, and a
And
lot of
really,
people
I just
think
started
that.
focusing on my business this year. So, I mean, yeah, I went to all the swaps and everything locally, but I now I'm actually focusing on it. I have a website and all that, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's I'm really excited to see what you got going out there, and hopefully, by the time I get to go out of the class, you're allowing people to go check out your place because that'd be really neat to go see.
Oh, if you're
Um,
gonna come out this way, you definitely come see it because I know Grant Eater. He's coming up June, I think, and he's probably gonna come over and check it out. Hope I'm trying to have it done by then, but we'll see if it happens.
well, I don't even need to see it completely done. I just think
Well,
it's
that's
cool
right.
to see.
If that's just a goal of mine to have it done
Yeah.
before he shows up, because he theoretically be the first one to show up. So I'm like, I'm trying to get that done if I can. It doesn't have to be, but it's a personal goal of mine to try to get done.
Now, are you part of any of the local fish clubs in that area? Do you guys have a fish club there, or you have to go all the way into one of the bigger cities to a club?
Um,
Or
I have to go minimum an hour, hour and a half to a fish to the
okay,
nearest
that's
fish
not bad.
club. Well, actually, the
That's
45 minutes to Bucks County's fish club.
no.
So
Are you active with the club or not?
I'm not active with Bucks County, which I'm trying to get better with that right now, but it's it's hard to have time to go to the meetings and all that. So once I get everything situated and I have time to go to the meetings, I'm gonna end up being going to their meeting. And then there's also another one that I'm probably gonna end up going to their meeting, the ACLC, which is the Lancaster Club, which is an hour and a
Mm.
half from me.
Yeah, they're just good sources because once in a while, when they have like the fish swaps and stuff like that, it allows you as a member to set up a vendor's table, and you know that's another way to be able to generate some revenue with the fish that you have.
Yeah, I go to all their swaps and everything. I've have since 2019. I've been going to all the local swaps that are within 2.5 hours of me.
Yeah.
So this year, Aquacello's within that realm. So
Oh, okay. Oh, well, they're going to New York? No, New Jersey, right?
yeah,
So are you planning on going as a attendee or as a vendor?
as a vendor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll, well, hopefully it goes really well with you there.
See,
Yeah, because I don't think their tables are very cheap.
no,
Um, and
I was
so
looking at the Dallas shows, and but at the same time, I mean, they're almost the same. Like you, did you hear about the Aquatic Expo in South Carolina?
yeah.
It's about the same price to go to that as it would be to go to Aquacello. So
Oh, okay. And you probably get more foot traffic at Aquashella than you do at the expo.
I heard a lot of good things about the Aquatic Expo though this year too. So
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be great because then you would have three venues that you could potentially sell out of that are pretty big. You would have the Clash, you would have the Expo, and
yeah,
obviously
I'll
the
be at the
Aquashella.
Clash every year. Every year
Yeah,
that it's there, I'll be there. I already have my hotel room and everything for that one. So
yeah, yeah. It's just for me. It's like on the other side of the country. I wish I could. I think eventually I'll be able to do that. It's just, but I don't see it happening within the next 3 years. It'll probably be a little bit longer than that. Um,
it's a
where
long travel.
well, it's just it gets to the point where because I don't travel alone. My wife usually comes with me. So once you start doing that, it's just getting the flight tickets, which is probably the biggest cost, and trying to be able to purchase that. Although I hear complaints more and more often that the price at the hotel at the venue is kind of going up every year, um, and it's getting to the point where I think I looked at it, and for the time of the stay there, it was like what I wanted to do because I think the event runs what Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah,
So I was thinking of coming in like on Thursday, hang out with the people coming in, and leaving on Monday. It was almost like $1,000 to stay there. I was like, it's a little bit too much money for me.
I'm glad the Clash they do the group rate, so they have a set rate for the Keystone Clash goers until they're sold out.
Yeah, that was with the group rate. If I wanted to do those 4 days, I was like, damn, this is uh,
Yeah, because I guess for me last year I only went 2 days. Well, I only stayed out there 2 days, and yeah, it was about half of that.
yeah, yeah. It's just I was like, you know, it just eventually I think I will be able to do, and it'll probably be me going by myself, which is rarely uncommon. I mean, I don't usually when we travel together. I'm trying to convince my wife that we need to buy one of those like Class B RVs, the ones that look like a van, like a Sprinter van. Because I
Yeah,
get that. I'm driving now. I'm driving to all these events, and then I don't have to worry about spending for hotels or anything like that.
we actually bought an old school bus, a short bus, to make into something to be able to go to events.
Yeah, because the other thing
Because
that
I
the
need
way
the
I look
space
at
to
it
throw
is
the cooler and stuff too. So
because the way I look at it, I've made so many friendships across the entire country that literally I could leave Arizona, drive to a point, and probably come to like for example Curtis's house, which is Skulls Aquatics, and camp out there for a day, and then drive on to wherever event you're going because he's kind of like in the middle of the country. So, and I know a lot of people along the way that would be like, yeah, just come on over. You can park in the driveway and
yeah,
and then keep on going. So, but that's why I'm always fascinated. But I still have a uh, what is it? At least 12 more years before I can retire. So we'll see what happens from now to then. Because that's something that once I retire, I'm gonna have time. I don't want to be sitting around at home not doing something. So that would be like a fun thing to do is just just kind of go pursue all these events and check them out and maybe by then I might be doing what you're doing is setting up vendor tables or something and having
that's
fun
my
and enjoying the
that's
whole
my goal for
experience.
the next 2 years is start branching out and going further and further out.
Yeah.
So
Well, Jesse, I want to thank you so much for taking time because I know you're busy because you're still
yeah,
and every
nonstop.
day it seems like you're doing something to the fish room. But I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me this morning. Well, I still
No,
say
thank you
morning.
for
It's
having me.
afternoon. I'm working graveyard. So, no, my pleasure. I forgot who was saying that they were happy that I was doing this stuff, but the reality is, without you guys coming on as guests, I don't have a show. So that's why I'm always appreciative of all of you guys accepting my invitation to be on here, because it's this doesn't work without you or whoever comes on. There's only so much I can say, but having you guys on has always been really cool. Get to see. I love learning from everybody what they're doing, and it sounds exciting what you got going on. I really want to see you succeed, and so that this becomes something that you could probably do full time. And
So I'm hoping.
you know, it's just it'll be and I'm looking forward to hopefully one day being able to swing by and see your place. But till then, I'll continue to watch it on video. And even doing little updates as to what you got going on in the first room after you've accomplished it. That's still kind of cool. I'll watch that, and I know there's several people here that would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, I want to get.
So
I want to start making more videos and get more out there and let everybody know at least what's going on via videos for people to see what's going on in here.
yeah. So with that being said, wait up. Let me do something before I forget. Eyeball. Let me get him a moderator wrench. So that's done. Yeah, that's done. Yeah. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for
I say
what
Night
was that?
Owl. I recognize that name from the Clash last year.
Uh, oh, so you got to meet him?
I don't know if I got to meet him, but I definitely walked past his booth and said hi at least once.
Oh, okay. They're asking me as far as information to reach out. They can find you on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Do you have a Facebook?
I do have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all under Just One More Fish.
Okay.
And my
What?
logo is the same logo that's on here. That's the two door.
Website?
And I think I did apply for that FFL thing.
Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, it looks like they already have it. They got you set up there. So for those of you guys that are interested in reaching out to Jesse, make sure you go to the Fish Fam link to get his links. And your website is also on there, I'm assuming.
If it's not, I'll get it on there.
Okay. And what's your preferred way of people reaching out to you? Which of the platforms?
Probably Facebook Messenger.
Okay,
Just shoot me a message.
that's the one that you're kind of more on top of.
Yeah, that, and she's also logged in on it, so she'll tell me like, "Yo, go answer that person."
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I know I reached out to you on Messenger, and that was the quickest way. I after a while I did IG, and then once, but the one you responded almost immediately on was on Messenger.
Shady
So
Grady
for those of
bought
you
fish
guys
from me.
who,
Shady Grady apparently bought fish from me.
oh, okay, maybe at the Clash.
Probably. And I
So
had 20 10-gallon tanks set up there, running with
oh,
fish in them back here.
that's probably where it was then.
Plecos.
Plecos. So, well, before we get out of here, is there anything you wanna tell the people watching that you want them to be aware of, or any plans that you got going on, any events that you might be at, or
Definitely
anything
gonna
that
be
you're
at the
doing?
clash. I'm definitely gonna do the clash. I'm gonna be at Aquashello. Those are the two big events that I'll be at. Um,
Aquashella, New Jersey, right?
yeah. And I mean, otherwise, just keep a lookout for other videos. If there's anything you want to see a video on, just comment on my other first video and let me know, and I'll try to get that done.
Yeah, they're gonna want to see everything. Trust me.
I know.
I'm finding that out that yeah, they people watch. It's it's interesting to see what I know. We tend to think that what we're doing is not interesting, but other people seem to find it interesting. So
Yeah,
stuff that
because
you
there's people around you. Like, there's like maybe one or two people that be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool what you're doing," and like you get into like this world,
Mhm.
everybody's like, "That's dope." So
Yeah. So with that being said, I just want to thank everybody for coming in this afternoon. Now that I got it right, and also to let you guys know, Saturday, Cheryl's going to be on as my guest. It's going to be in the morning. I think it's going to be. What time did I put it on? Let me let me check. Let me plug the stream. It's going to be at okay. It's going to be in the afternoon. It's going to be 3 o'clock. Cheryl's what, Central Time? So I think that's the time that we're going to be going on. But again, want to thank you guys. Did I lose you, Jesse, or what happened? Okay. You probably might have had to skip out. Oh, do this. All right. With that being said, I want to thank you guys again for joining us this afternoon. And if you see something that you were interested, Jesse has definitely left his contact information for you guys. You guys will be able to find them on Fish Fam link. And as you guys heard, make sure you guys say hi to him if you guys go to the Clash. And
sorry, someone called me.
oh, that's okay. I figured something had happened, but that's no big deal. So with that being said, I will see you guys Saturday, hopefully, and you guys take care.
Thank you guys, and thank you, Zen. I see your comment there.